And so I said that'll cost you $20. And welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. Of course, I am your host, Nick Cameron, joined by my good friend, Keefy Quintenscence. Don't know what that means, but he is a fucktrider.
What does that mean?
I'm not reading hats.
Oh, Truck Fighter. I see.
Yeah.
Quintessence is a good song by Mastodon.
Is it? Did we do that one?
Previous podcast subject that Nick loved and hated Mastodon.
Yeah, Mastodon was a 4-week run of self-loathing and flagellation for myself, but we are waiting for Big Daddy Don, who'll be joining us shortly. So just whenever he hops, he hops. Thank you for joining us this week for the Beastie Boys series. That is our first hip hop series. We apologize that our first hip hop series is white people, but I kind of personally feel like, apart from the coup, they fit the brand better than any other hip hop group due to the metal and punk influences and the metal and punk music that we're going to talk about today. So the way we do this, of course, is the greeting, the beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the day, which meat of the day is a, if you don't mind me saying so, it is a Beastie Boys bouillabaisse of releases. But we're
Well
not, in
done.
fact, going to be discussing B-Boys bouillabaisse.
Until
That's
later.
that's in 2 weeks. But we're going to be discussing the Beastie Boys' first release, Pollywogs 2, followed by their second, Cookie Puss, followed by their third, Rock Hard, which, if you don't know what that is, we'll describe it when we get to it, and their final single, She's On It. Going on to the beer check, the glacially musical beer of the week is Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, because there is a dude at work I just want to cut right now. Keefy?
Violent Nick is here. I'm going to be drinking this Trader Joe's Thai peanut satay sauce. No, I'm not. I'm going to be drinking a Liquid Death. What a surprise. Look at Nick. I wish you could see Nick's face.
Could you satay up the Liquid Death? Satay sauce is delicious. I mean, it is.
satay.
It's
and
delicious.
Trader Joe's satay sauce is actually not only delicious, it's decent for you.
That's because Trader Joe's doesn't make anything. Trader Joe's buys it from the people that are good at it.
That's right. Like, they learned from the Steve Jobs model.
Yeah, and just.
That was
Sorry,
a pop.
damn it, I talked over it.
It's not a beer pop, so don't worry about it.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, buddy.
And in case nobody knows, 2 things at Trader Joe's you should not sleep on. The Bosun Double IPA. I'm sorry, 3 things. The Handsome Cut Fries. Those are the best frozen fries you will ever purchase. And the Trader Joe's Casey-style barbecue sauce. Ted Lasso would probably approve of them. But I'm going to head on into my vinyl check.
Go right ahead, buddy.
So, I was at Vintage Vinyls a while back, and they had... Oh, hang on, my computer's doing things. It wants me to restart. Pick a time. We're going to say 10 p.m. There we go. No, 10 p.m. Schedule. Okay, so at the vintage vinyl, I got a nice little Pink Floyd bootleg, and on that same day, I had a little extra ducats, and so for a very prescient vinyl check this week is Beastie Boys Kawasaki 1992. It is a radio broadcast from the Check Your Head tour. Check out this track list, right? I'm just going to run through it real quick. Slow and Low, Shake Your Rump, Posse in Effect, Eggman, Stand Together, POW featuring DJ Hurricane, Egg Raid on Mojo. So they did Eggman and Egg Raid on Mojo, which we'll discuss that at length later. Time for Living, Side B, In Threes, Michelle's Farm, Holy Snappers, Jimmy James, The Sounds of Science, Hold It Now, Hit It, Pass the Mic, Freestyle featuring MC Boo, which was a Japanese rapper, Time to Get Ill, and closed it out with Shadrach. I mean, are you not entertained?
Peak Beastie Boys. Peak.
Yeah, I we'll discuss it more in a few weeks, but Check Your Head is that's the That is the zenith. That is them putting the flag into Mount Everest, as MCA would do the next week. The other record I'm going to check this week is I'm finally checking off another artist whose entire collection I now have. It's not nearly as impressive because it's only 3. But that is the Blues Brothers soundtrack. I've been wanting to get a copy of this for a long time. I got this at Joe's Records, STL. It was $18 in super good shape. As I've said before many times, and I'll say again, Blues Brothers Live in America is the kind of record you want to show your buddies that don't believe in vinyl. It sounds so good. Excuse me, I didn't pour correctly, apparently. There's one thing on this record that's missing that makes me angry. If there's one song from the Blues Brothers that it did not have, it's the one that I wish it did, which is Boom 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 by John Lee Hooker. I do have it on other records, but that's still... You know what? No. Sweet Home Chicago by the Blues Brothers, that's probably the best song on the record. But that is my vinyl check.
I've always been partial to There's a Riot Going On in Cell Block number 9.
Is that on? I don't think that's on this.
And it may not be on the official release. It's in the movie, but maybe not on the official soundtrack because there was rights things.
It is not on the soundtrack.
In the words of George Carlin about the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, and House of Blues, it is a white man's job to give other people the blues, not for them to sing the blues. The blues are not for white people. Stay in your own lane, Whitey. I'm going to give us a pause and let in Don. So Don will pick it right up with his final check in a second.
And Kick It is actually not in...
Not for a few weeks.
It's not in Fight for Your Right. It's in the preceding track.
Oh, you're right. That's right. That's what happens when you get excited. So
go, Don, go.
So while Lizzie's out of town, and whenever she's out of town, I decide to drink. So is my hair okay? All right, cool. So whenever the wife is out of town, I drink. So I bought some more Yeungling because I really enjoyed it. And Nick, I actually bought some Hopsecutioner. And when my father-in-law was over here, he was like, "Oh, this looks good. We should drink this." And I'm like, "Okay." And he popped one open. He's drinking. He goes, "This is great." And I drank it. I literally thought I was going to puke. I was like, I don't know what I can do with this.
I can tell you here's what you did wrong. One,
I bought it.
No. Hopsecutioner is delicious. And if you don't like it, you're wrong. Unless you're lawyer wife. 2, you didn't do a proper pour. You've got to finger fudge pour that.
I did finger fudge pour it. I poured it right into the fucking Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon mug.
And you waited for the foam to go?
I love you, Nick.
You didn't wait for the foam to go. And then you drank it
for the foam.
Then you drank it too fast. I know. I have been in your position. I was in Birmingham. I had to put back double IPA because I was drunk and I couldn't leave it there.
Oh, was this the one you drank so fast?
Yeah.
You got sick?
Burping. Yeah, that's what you did. Anyway, vinyl check done. Catch up.
All right, vinyl check. So anyway, I've got my beautiful Yeungling, and I'm going to go ahead and hold on. It's a twist off, of course, but so cheers and new vinyl pickups today, courtesy of Kilgore Trouts right here in Myrtle Beach. The only that I can actually say LGBTQ supportive and friendly record store in town. And I did pretty fucking good, man. I picked up a great copy of Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues. Look how beautiful.
I had a Moody Blues record in my hand, a live album this past weekend, and I let it go.
Look how beautiful, like this cover, like it's immaculate. $18. And then for the guy actually hooked me up for 20. I got this great reissue of Mother's Milk.
Nice. I've got a reissue of that too.
Even not with the deal he gave me, it was only $25. Like, so this store fucking rules. So whenever you guys decide to come visit in Myrtle Beach, which I don't recommend it, but if you want to come anyway, we'll go to Kilgore Trouts. So anyway, and can I show one more thing real quick? My brother messages me and says, "Dude, I was going through some stuff and I went through a bunch of old boxes and I found some things that were yours." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Some of your rock magazines from the 80s.
I thought those were wrestling magazines. I got real excited.
Look at this."
I'm surprised they're not pornos.
Well, those did not last very long while I had them. Look at this, advertising the brand new album from Bruce Dickinson.
God, that album sucks ass though.
Tattooed Millionaire. This is great. I don't know why I thought of Keefy for this one, but it was like, it's this special issue of Hit Parader with the heavy metal handbook. But why it's got a picture of Trickster on it, I don't know. And then finally, I have a copy of Metal Edge here. And that's, and Guitar for the Practicing Musician with Randy Rhoads.
I had both those last two ones. I feel like that Metal Edge, what's the date on that Metal Edge?
So the Metal Edge is
let me see. On the spine or in the top corner?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. Let's see. It has, well, it says how much it cost, but I can tell you actually just by look. Hold on, let me see. So it's got Metallica. Yeah, this is Metallica on the road. There's nothing on the spine. There is no, I mean, there's really no spine to it. It's just like it's
probably
folded.
Ran your wing.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what it is? It must. Here, 1991, because it was the Reader's Choice Awards.
Sebastian Sexy. It's Sebastian Sexy.
It's Sebastian.
I mean Bach.
It's Sebastian Sock. So anyway, yeah. So that's my fun for the night. So I'm gonna enjoy reading those while I listen to my new vinyls. And
how many rooms in your house have you come in this week since your wife is away? Or how many rooms have you not come in?
2.
Just 2. Out of the whole house. Amazing.
Wait, does the pool count as a room?
Yes. It's a location, not a room.
Okay, well, I'll make sure to drain the pool.
When Don is home alone, every room is an escape room.
Every room is a cum room.
Is a cum rag. I got jokes for days about this. Okay, Nick, what's your news check?
You didn't vinyl check.
I didn't. That's right. Fuck me. Fuck myself out of my own check. I have 2 for
and
today.
He always blames it on me.
I blame you always. It's true. Well, here's a classic, and this was a gimme metal. Motorhead, 1916. Oh, that's beautiful. Not Night Ranger. That's Night Ranger, and I'm not singing.
I love Motorhead and I love their formula, but in my opinion, that was their their last truly great fucking, like, everything was great after that, but there was something about that album that just hit.
Motorhead has all the range of AC/DC, so there's
but 1916 had something different, and I don't know, maybe Keith knows what it is. I don't know, but anyway.
I don't know. Here's the Gimme Radio Hype Sticker exclusive silver vinyl. So we have the recreated front and the back. Nice job. And there's an inner sleeve that I think has lyrics for the whole album. Paper inner sleeve with lyrics, nondescript, just white.
Now, is this the first time on vinyl?
Probably not first time on vinyl, but first remaster on vinyl.
Okay.
Now all the Motorheads are getting remastered. Ramones is on here. Make My Day, Shut You Down, 1916, of course. The One to Sing the Blues, Going to Brazil. So these are some great fucking songs. And look at this, like, gunmetal gray, right? Pretty nice.
I've got a Carcass record. My Surgical Steel is similar to that, but it's got a white merge to it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Is that Discapulus to the Quintabulus Fathless?
No, it's actually Surgical Steel, not the one none of us can pronounce. I will never buy that one because I'll have to check it.
Pistopoulos to the Encephagus Phallus.
George Papadopoulos, supercalifragilistic.
Oh, I was going to do that. Descanting the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
And my second vinyl check, since we're having fun games, is Exhorder, Mourn the Southern Skies. I love Exhorder, otherwise known as High School Pantera, basically. But I'm a huge fan of Kyle Thomas. And crew.
Also known as the guy that Philip stole all his ideas from.
Some, not all. Kyle's an incredible singer, 80%. And I'm a huge Exhorder fan from back in the day. Pat O'Brien is now a full-time member of Exhorder, former Cannibal Corpse lead guitarist.
Is he really?
He really is.
I like to think of it as ex-hoarder because then it's a positive thing.
Ex-hoarder, like
it's also one of those band names, Keefy and Nick, that actually is, if you say it right, it's how like New Orleans people actually talk. They say Exhorder.
Exhorder.
Exhorder. Hey man, you got that new Exhorder, bruh? It's good.
Front cover. gatefold, band photo, lyrics, credits, back
Love
cover,
it.
beautiful artwork on this. And then
So nice.
I
let's
wish I had
see.
a I don't give a fuck beard like that.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying. And then it's just a double gatefold for a double vinyl, right? 2 LPs.
Double
And here's the I
gatefold.
think it's creamsicle orange. You tell me. It's not quite safe.
Triggered,
It's not
Nick.
obituary orange. It's creamsicle orange, right?
Ooh,
Dreamsicle.
that is Dreamsicle.
What do you think?
I've got my James Legg Solitary Pleasure is that color. It was supposed to be whiskey brown, and when it arrived at the record label, they went, "Why is this orange Dreamsicle?" And yes, you triggered me because it's not a double gatefold.
Oh, it's a single gatefold.
I do
Gatefold
own
is 2. Duh.
right. I do own a double gatefold, which is S&M too.
So is it double gatefold the one that opens up tri?
It opens up twice.
So then that would be a double gatefold. Then what is one that opens up like twice and has the middle?
It's Iron Maiden, and it's Iron Maiden, and they need to stop that shit. I'm sick of it. It's really difficult. Roger Waters does that too, and I'm like dropping shit. Records are bouncing off the floor. I mean, no.
So Nick, how crazy does it drive you if you get a 2-album set and it's got one sleeve?
I love that.
Seriously?
Yes.
To me, that would just trigger the hell out of you.
I have 3 album sets with one sleeve. Those are the best. Just, you know what? Because I don't need to open stuff up. I know. It's like Mitch Hedberg said, that bread is fancy. You open it once and it still ain't open. You got to open it again. I do not need another step between me and toast. I don't need another step between me and the sweet, sweet vinyl grail grooves coming out my speakers.
Fair enough.
News check.
News check now. Go for it.
Obviously, we have two giants that have passed. We lost Sly Stone, and we lost Brian Wilson today.
Mm-hmm.
In happier news, it has been announced that Billy Corgan's National Wrestling Alliance, friend of the show, Billy Corgan, National Wrestling Alliance, a 12-time champion, Ric Flair, also a friend of the show, one of my original guests. Go look for that episode.
Did you really have Ric Flair on as a guest?
Hell no, I did not. It's a snipe hunt.
Hey, good God. Dude, I would pay to hear that.
Like when Keefy first started, I kept everybody's friend of the show. I'm like, oh yeah, Nelly, friend of the show. He's like, Nelly? You know Nelly? I'm like, hell no, I don't know Nelly.
Oh, now I love you even more. I didn't think that was possible.
So
Anyway.
the NWA has announced they will be streaming on the Roku channel. Nerd, nerd. I am ready to get back into some classic wrestling because I am certain that Billy Corgan's NWA is exactly the same thing as the NWA that I used to watch in 1987 and no different, right?
Like how so? Like in a good way?
Yeah, like it's just, it's just like a TV taping show. There's no crowd. Half the dudes are fat. There's no steroids.
Oh, is this like the shit that's in like a school gym?
Yeah,
Shit like that.
Yeah,
That's the best, man.
That's what I want it to be. If I keep trying to get people to go down to the South Broadway Athletic Club for their monthly wrestling show, but nobody will go with me.
Oh my God, dude. I would fucking go in a heartbeat. Like those are the best ones. Have you seen the independent wrestling thing where there's my a guy that's Jesus?
I've only been to the South Broadway once, but I swear to God, I get down there and this is in 2007, so it's a slightly different time. But like even back then, you couldn't do this anywhere else. Everybody's just smoking like in the seats, and I'm like, what the fudge? Well, I'm gonna go get a Busch beer, I guess, and whatever. And then the lady in front of me is like going, Randy, he keeps counting too slow and letting him up. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he doesn't want Georgie to win this week or something. I don't know. And I'm like, what?
Randy? George?
I don't remember their actual names. I'm just throwing names out there. All right. What's your news check, Don?
So my news check. You guys ready for this? Are you ready? Zetro out. Duke's in. Zetro out on a solo tour, which is going to be fucking, I think that's going to be something to see. Like, I love Zet, man. Him and Dukes are both fucking MAGAs, which I could leave them both in a dumpster for all I care. But man, if I had to choose between the two, man, Zetro, I'm team Zetro all the way. So it'll be cool to see what his what his solo tour would be like. I'm sure he's going to be doing Exodus stuff, but then he has got that other. What's that other band he's got with all the different people in it, Keefy? That's like a. It's like a. What is it? It's
Well,
like
his sons. He was the lead singer of his son's band, Hatred, for a while.
Patriot. That's what it was.
He was
yeah.
also the original singer of Testament when they were known as Legacy. So he's going to do early Testament stuff on that show too.
I think I think this will be a cool show though. But
and
he's doing that.
His AC/DC tribute band.
Do you see the face I'm making? See,
I forgot he did that, but then the only other two pieces I got was it? I guess did they just announce that it was Tool? They got kicked off of the.
It's not Tool.
The Sabbath show. Okay, I heard it was Tool, but then like I couldn't find anything about it.
Yeah, so. I loved seeing the heavy metal journalism saying band kicked off Ozfest. Link in comments. So I go to the link and
the story says band kicked off of Ozfest.
Yeah, and basically the whole story is Sharon's a bitch, and I'm like, one, that's mean. Two,
true but mean.
You shouldn't say it. Two, who's the band? This is not newsworthy.
No,
this is
it's just clickbait as it is, you know.
Yeah, I hated it. Anyway, done.
So, and one more piece of news is that Paradise Lost is about to release their 79th album for 2025.
Thank Christ. The last 18 or 19 minutes without a Paradise Lost record have been rough.
I don't know, man. He had to be in there. He had to be in the 90s, man. You had to be there. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it,
you had to be there. There were hobos on the street corner handing them to you.
Dude, everyone had a Paradise Lost album. Like, even if they didn't want it.
I'm pretty sure Metallica released 4 Paradise Lost records.
They don't even remember it.
Are you guys done?
Oh, sorry, Keefy.
It wasn't that funny. Just to
made me laugh.
Yeah, well, just to piggyback a little. First of all, Nick, you missed one death. Today, Douglas McCarthy of Nitzareb died after a long battle with liver failure. Cirrhosis and liver failure, so that sucks. He had been off the road for a long time. He wasn't touring with the band for a while, so bummer if you love industrial music like I do. And the gothy post-punk stuff that he's done with other people. So just to piggyback on Don's thing about Sabbath, here's what the real thing is. They speculated it was Tool because Tool wanted their name taken off the live streaming event because Tool does not allow streaming of their shows. So I've been asked my opinion about this privately and publicly, and what I think is going to happen is Tool's name is back on the streaming thing. They're promoting it. I don't think their segment of the show will be streamed, but Maynard, when he sings with Black Sabbath, will be. That's the compromise. Tool will. I really, really doubt Tool is going to allow themselves to be recorded and streamed all over the world. They've never done it. They've never done it for any reason. They won't start now. Certainly
are they like anti-taping too? Like they don't do the whole bootleg thing at all, right?
They do not allow bootlegging.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Let us tape your shit.
No, I think there's a reason why. And the reason why is every Tool considers it like this. Every show is different. Every show is unique and special. They've never put out. They have a few live tracks that have come out. They have never put out a live music video, a performance video, never. There's a reason why. They're waiting until the band is done to do so. So I think it's important to respect that. And I think the band that has probably been kicked off, if I had to guess, she had a fight with a manager. First of all, Sharon is playing, just like Trump and Elon, to manipulate the stock market. Sharon is manipulating the music media to hype this thing up, to no avail, to any level possible. So it's possible she's bullshit. And it's possible if there was a band I had to pick that would be kicked off because their manager demanded some shit, it's Guns N' Roses, clearly, because their new manager's an asswipe, and he's well known as being they literally hired him, and his like secret nickname is Mr. Motherfucker, like Wednesday 13. So like he's there to fuck shit up and get Guns N' Roses every advantage. And I could see them. We need our own area. Axl needs his own dressing room. I could see it being like not Team Ozzy
and cubed ham.
I want only non-green M&Ms. Where are the green M&Ms? How could you? Of course, the classic. So, Sharon, whatever. Are you familiar, moving on to another topic, are you familiar with the band called Slither?
No.
Okay. No. You did not watch the G.I. Joe cartoons in the 80s then?
I did, but I don't remember.
I did, but I don't remember a band.
Cobra decided they were going to infiltrate America's youth with a rock band led by Zartan and the Dreadnoks.
That checks out.
Now,
And
okay,
so
I totally
Hasbro
remember that.
has collaborated with Reigning Phoenix Music, former people of Nuclear Blast, to create a Cold Slither album and band. And the band is a legendary status bunch of death metal guys.
So are they going to go on tour with Gorillaz and Death Clock?
That would be cool, but
That'd be a fucking great show.
It'd be cool if they opened for Ghost and Baby Metal. That would be sick. But no, they are not.
Then I would actually go to the Ghost Baby Metal show.
They're doing a headline tour.
So would I.
They're doing a headline tour in costume like the cartoon characters. The record slams. It's thrash and death metal and heavy metal. It's got something for everybody, and it's accessible enough to be liked by mainstream people who don't casually like metal and love G.I. Joe like I do. I don't know if you
I don't casually like metal. I formally like metal.
Yes, exactly. But
I listen to metal at a tux.
Yes, a lot of people are very casual fans, though. So anyway, that record is coming out. May I finish? Silence yourself when you're not speaking, Donald and Nicholas. I feel like a fucking teacher now. You know, I'm excited for this. It's coming out for Comic-Con in July, San Diego Comic-Con. So I think that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of other news, but nothing I need to share here. So, was there foreigner news this weekend? I think there was some foreigner news.
God, I hope there is.
And played a gig.
Foreigner still touring.
Still touring. Soon to be without Kelly Hansen, as Don shared on his last news.
Kelly Hansen out. Lou Gramm in and found the door like Grandpa Simpson. Didn't even get his whiskey sour.
Kelly Hansen out. Lou Gramm kind of fell in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he walked in
gently.
He walked in, he saw Foreigner, walked around. Is your name Bard?
And that is my news check. I have nothing else to offer at this time.
All righty. We're going to shirt check properly. My shirt check is Un. Got it from the band At the Sinkhole. Done.
Lykantropi, got it from the band. Great psychedelic occult rock that is rest in peace. They are no longer around, so it sucks. But
same with Un.
That's a bummer. Well, here's a band that's also not around anymore. Pink Floyd. Thank you, Amazon, for this shirt from my favorite.
Good looking shirt, though, Keith.
My favorite album ever. I feel like Nick has this shirt. That's why he's sneering.
I do not have that shirt.
I feel like you have the same shirt, but okay.
I don't have a Wish You Were Here. I have like 2 or 3 Dark Side shirts, and I've got an Animals shirt.
Lily's got the old school Gilmore reprint. You know what I'm talking about? It's got just the pig on it, like just the pink, but it's fuzzy. It's kind of cool. It gives me an excuse to do this.
Any reason Don needs.
Hey, I
I'm gonna have to ask my wife, can I touch your shirt, please?
I'm just going to point out, I don't relate to that at all.
Oh, it's all right.
No, I mean, I don't. I would never do that.
Well, I asked first.
I just get told.
Do you think I'm an animal?
Consent is everything.
I get told no before I even get halfway through the room.
Well, so do I. I just wait until it's folded in the closet, and I just
Age of Consent is not just an album by Bronski Beat. It's actually an important thing.
Learn that, kids. Consent is everything.
Consent is sexy.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Shall we
move on to the meat of the episode?
Well, I want to back up the truck just briefly. We joke a lot about Don and his emissions a lot because they're funny. But yeah, just remember that if you're emitting with a human, make sure that human wants it. Right. If you can't serve that human tea, you can't emit.
Make sure to give them a heads up warning so they can pull their hair back.
I feel like Human Tea is a record by Cattle Decapitation.
I feel like it should be an album by them.
Almost sounds like it could be an Alice Cooper album.
Or
it does sound. Oh, you know what it could be? It could be. I forget the damn band's name.
Striper.
No, what was that band you talked about earlier? 37,000 albums.
Paradise Lost.
It could definitely be a Paradise Lost album.
They just made a new album right now on top of the other new album that's coming. Wait, second that I said that, they just made a new album.
They just released a double live album for a show that's happening next week. So it's like...
I'm sorry. Paradise Lost will never not be funny. So let's get to the meat of the.
Friends of the podcast, Paradise Lost.
Friends
Oh,
of the
totally.
pod.
Friends
Now
of the-
Don
friends of the
finally
show.
got the joke after like being on this with us for several months. And really quick, I did not, because this is such a murky kind of preamble.
It's a preamble.
episode.
We're preambling.
We're preambling, so I didn't do like a albums of the year or hip hop albums of the year, but we will for next week. But
Okay.
We're gonna skip it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
this is a we're going to be going through like 4 different years because each one of these is in a different year. It's 83, 84, 85, 86. And then 87
But actually, the band
is
started in
licensed.
'79. So, like, yeah, there's a whole generation of music that happens right in that little wheelhouse, and it doesn't make sense to kind of try to contextualize a group that isn't fully formed until later. So,
Well, and these the music we're talking about today is not really known. In fact, one of the albums, Rock Hard, has only seen release on 12-inch vinyl. Because
Really?
it features AC/DC's Back in Black as the sample.
Oh.
And Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons did not request it. They did not get permission. So yeah. So we're going to talk about a band called the Beastie Boys, right? First off, the Beastie Boys are not boys. At this point in time, it's 3 dudes and a lady. The lady would be Kate Schellenbach, who played the drums. Why didn't Mike D play the drums? Because nobody wanted to sing.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike D lost. And at this point in time, he's going by his given name, which is Michael Diamond. He's credited as lead vocals and the greatest instrument of all time, the soul, heart and soul of rock and roll, the cowbell. Kate Schellenbach, as I said, on drums, backing vocals, and the most historical of all Depression-era instruments, the washbird.
Mm-hmm.
Sulphur City, friend of the show, actually friend of Glacially Musical Glacially Musical Blog. The lead singer Lori plays an electric washboard. Didn't know that was
Really?
a thing. Yeah, I got the 3 records. They sent me 2 of them though. Anywho, bass guitar, backing vocals, and acoustic guitar. Adam Yauch. Now, who are we missing, Don? What Beastie Boy has not been named?
Adam Horvitz.
He's not on this record. He's not in the band at this point in time. At this point in time, he is in a band called the Young Aborigines.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Shit.
Everybody did, because nobody ever heard anything they ever did.
I only knew that because I read the biography. That was like 380 pages long.
John Berry is the name Nick is looking for. John Berry.
Oh, John Barry.
I wasn't
Oh.
looking for it yet, sir. I wasn't
Okay.
there.
San Francisco is San Franciscoing. I'll be quiet.
How to speak San Franciscan. So yeah, John Barry is on guitar. This is this album actually is basically his swan song with the band because Adam Horvitz joins the band not much longer after this. I want to say they might have actually broken up, like both bands had broken up simultaneously, and then they just kind of reformed the Beastie Boys. All right. Does anybody here know what Beastie stands for?
No, but you're going to tell us.
Boys entering anarchistic states towards internal excellence. That is what it...
I'm actually super impressed. I mean, like, I've always thought the Beastie Boys were fucking geniuses, but like that, like, just takes it to another level.
They did that during a time when all of their songs are hardcore punk songs about revolution against traffic cops.
That is so like perfect for
Transit
that kind
cops.
of revolutionary.
What did I say? Did I not say transit cop? Oh, that's
You
a
did
traffic.
not hear the word Dune unless you spoke it, by the way. I'm just gonna
Dune.
bring it back from last week. One of you said Dune. I certainly didn't say it. No, you certainly did.
Who the
You
fuck
imagined
just
it.
said Dune?
You imagined it. I'm just
Who
telling
said
you.
Dune?
You imagined it.
I'm Dune.
Transit Cop.
Dune.
Dune.
Good band on Metal Blade Records. They do songs about the book and movie Dune.
Somebody has to.
Seriously.
Okay, so the Beastie Boys are they serious punk or are they having a laugh? It's
Or
kind
are
of
they
hard
just bad at it? They're not good at it.
Maybe okay, fair. Maybe they just haven't had
They're
enough
not very good.
Maybe they just haven't had enough life experience to feel ways about things.
No, or maybe they're like my old metal band did, is that they did, and they had the ideas and the passion, but their fingers just were not working
I'm not
enough to
talking more
actually
about
project that.
talking more about the lyrics on this right now, because Beastie Boys, Transit Cop, Jimmy, Holy Snappers, Riot Fight. I think Riot Fight is the most political song on the record, and they only had enough lyrics for 30 seconds. Ode to Michelle's Farm, and the aforementioned Egg Raid on Mojo. It was aforementioned before Don, so Don doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
Fill me in.
No, you'll just have to listen to the episode like everybody else.
Well, fuck y'all then.
Wow.
And isn't Egg Raid on Mojo the only song from this era that the Beastie Boys performed live up until the end?
It was performed on this record.
Of course it was. Yes.
The
I actually saw that at Kilgore Trots today.
You should have bought it. The joke was that you missed. They played both Egg Raid on Mojo and Eggman in the same show.
Oh, when I saw them in Atlanta on the License Ill tour, they did Egg Raid on Mojo, Eggman, and then they did what was the other one? Something's Got to Give.
You mean Check Your Head, perhaps?
Heart Attack Man.
That's
no, I saw
Communication.
No, I saw them on the Ill Communication tour.
Oh, I thought you said License to Ill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Ill Communication.
You said Dune.
And I said, Dune, where's my car? They had like a little section in their show where they just wheeled out a drum kit and they did like a 4-song punk set, which was like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, I only saw them on the Ill Communication tour at Lollapalooza, which was only about a 75-minute show. Okay, so they were signed to the most prestigious punk label in their neighborhood, Rat Cage. I mean, there's at this point in time in New York City, there had to have been about 400 of these, right? Labels just running around.
Little record labels, little bands. They played it at CBGB's and A7 and Maxis Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see the Beasties in this era, but I knew about them in a few more years.
I had a friend in high school that claimed to like them back then. I do question I do question that because he would have been 6.
Yeah, but if you were in depth into that local scene, like a lot of young kids can be. I mean, it's not impossible.
He was from St. Louis. Actually, he was from rural
yeah, then
Illinois.
I call bullshit.
I call bullshit, Josh. I don't believe you.
You call that one. They also used to do like these well, I forgot what they called them. They were like kind of like these like throwdown parties where they would be like at an old hotel that was like abandoned. Did you ever hear about that, Keefy? And they had like a ballroom upstairs or something, and they would just go up and they would be like hip hop artists. They'd be like punk bands. They'd be like beat poets and everything. And that's kind of where they cut their teeth.
I want a house with a ballroom so fucking bad.
Oh, so do I.
I would throw balls. I would throw the biggest balls.
Well, I've got the biggest balls of them all.
You would have crabs and crayfish.
Mud flap.
I've got the biggest balls of all.
And mud sharks. And
This is a mud show. Okay.
Red snapper.
Holy snapper. Do you want to go ahead and get to the track by track on this one, or do we just want to? I mean,
so we're not talking about the record yet, right? Because there's more to discuss. So
what do you want to discuss? Go ahead.
So the band is a marginally successful punk rock band. They can draw. They got a couple of good songs.
They do play with significant like DC hardcore bands. But they did play with Bad Brains.
I mean, they opened for Misfits. They opened for
They did.
They opened for the Dictators. They opened for major Bad Brains. Major bands took them under their wing and liked them, and they drew. They drew from
with
Queen.
Songs like Transit Cop.
Yes, I agree. The material not great, but they did draw. And you know, if they didn't become famous, we might never. This is just be another punk rock band from back in the day of used to be guys. You know, son of a playwright, and you know the other guy probably be graffitiing subway trains and DJing at a club, maybe.
I feel more like gone to college and majored in business.
Right. And you know, I think it bears mentioning. So they released a couple of singles. They had a out of print album. They released an EP or two. And
You sure about that?
Yes.
I thought Pollywog Stew was the very first thing.
Oh, is that what you're gonna go through right now?
Yeah, Pollywog Stew.
You're not doing some old bullshit this second.
Well, I am and I'm not. I'm going to discuss it after Cookie Puss.
Well, you can't. You got to discuss Cookie Puss. Sure. I guess we can talk about Cookie Puss in the moment of the track, but it's going to be a little bit of a combo.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing this as some old bullshit in my brain. In my brain,
but it's not in order. So
it is in order.
It's not in order of when things came out.
Absolutely. It makes me sad when y'all argue.
Pollywog
Mom,
Stew,
Dad, stop.
Followed by Cookie Puss, followed by Rock Hard, followed by She's On It. That's the order. That is the chronological order. That's the order we're going in.
It isn't.
It is.
It 100% isn't, but it's fine.
Okay, what's the order? You tell me the order.
Beastie Boys, Transit Cop, Jimmy, Holy Snappers, Riot Fight, O2, Michelle's Farm, Egg Raid. That's the
Are you talking about order. Are you talking about the track list or
just Pollywog Stew?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Okay, no, I misunderstood what we were talking about. I apologize.
Misunderstanding. So if you want to do just Pollywog Stew, do Pollywog Stew.
Yeah, we're doing Pollywog Stew right now.
We can continue with some old bullshit.
Then we'll do Cookie
still
Puss.
A few more years later.
Then we'll discuss Cookie Puss.
Sure.
Then we'll just briefly discuss some old bullshit's existence.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because there's not a whole lot extra on there.
Go ahead, pal.
Alrighty, so it starts off with the title track of the band, Beastie Boys. And that's like the whole song, and then it's over. It happened. It is worth pointing out, they continued to play this song throughout their career. And it also is it's one of the few of their punk songs that made it on to Sounds of Science. So they did look back fondly on this song. Done.
They played that one that long into their career? Because I don't remember them.
I want to say they played it on the not In Sound. What's the instrumental record called? The one I don't have.
The In Sound from Way Out or something like that.
Is that the name? Because there's two. One's the greatest hits and one's not.
The Hot Sauce Committee.
No, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2 that's like their last regular record.
So To the Five Boroughs?
No, it's after To the Five Boroughs.
It's called the In Sound from Way Out. It's the collection of like the instrumental tracks that were on like Ill Communication and shit like that.
No, not that one. There's another one. Give me a second. Go ahead and talk, Don.
So anyway, Keefy, did you ever see the Beasties out live? Did you ever see them?
I saw the Ill Communication tour.
Was that with the Roots and John Spencer's Blues Explosion?
Might have been like the warm-up show for the national tour, which was in Roseland. And I do think John Spencer opened because, again, New York. But I think they had to go somewhere else and get met up with. I wasn't into the Roots even aware of them until later.
It was called The Mix-Up. The Mix-Up.
Okay, that's a remix.
Oh, okay. That's a remix album.
No, The Mix-Up is a fully original album of instrumental songs, the whole thing. I 100%
know this.
There were some amazing shows that I used to watch on YouTube from this. That was when they were wearing suits, because they had a rule in the studio for that tour, for that album. You had to be wearing a suit and a hat.
That's amazing.
And then they went and toured it.
I'm embarrassed to say that I don't even remember this, but this is great.
It's the only one I don't have. I keep not buying it. I need to just buy the damn thing.
And it's all instrumental?
100%.
That's crazy. I love that.
I love their instrumentals.
I do too. I always thought they fucking nailed it. I just always loved a good live Beastie Boys show because I felt like it was as diverse as they were and as diverse as their audience.
Unfortunately, when I saw them on Lollapalooza, we didn't get that. Everything they did for that show, we didn't get any. They played Sabotage and that was it. Everything else was just them and the DJ.
Oh, so you didn't get like the whole band section thing.
Nope,
Yeah.
did not. Keefy, what you think of track 1?
So, my philosophy is that most bands that are named for a song or songs named for a band are almost always terrible. Almost always terrible. This is not terrible. It's neither good. It's just like, okay, there's their first thing ever. Cool.
It's a thing that happened.
We're trying to make Beastie Boys and Beastie a thing. When I grew up, I never heard of the word Beastie until I heard of Beastie Boys. We didn't call anything Beastie. They're literally trying to create a lore for themselves, which is kind of cool and goes with the ethos of both punk rock and hip hop.
And that's what I appreciate about them.
Yeah, song's not good.
Speaking of songs that aren't good, Transit Cop. Don't need this one, Don.
Man, I'll be honest. I'm kind of like you were, Nick. It was like when I was listening to this, like my first thought was, like, are they pranking on this? Or are they being sincere? But I'll be honest, for the age that they were and the time that they were around, I believe that there was a lot of sincerity to it, but they just weren't very good at it. And it's kind of hard to not be very good at playing hardcore, but
they were also very young.
Yeah, but there's something, I don't know, as much as I hate to use this word, there's something kind of charming about it. Like, that kind of makes you kind of feel like, oh, I got to watch these guys grow up from this, but listening to it in the moment, I don't love it, but listening to it, knowing what they would eventually become, I love it because it's kind of a dip into their lineage. So I'd say give or take, to be honest.
Well, if I can unmute myself, I will chime in and say it's actually not the worst thing on here, and it kind of goes along with the time. 1982 punk rock bands, a lot of them sound like this: good, bad, or indifferent.
Damning with faint praise. Moving on to Jimmy, the longest track of the record. They got very long-winded on this one. They went a whole 2 minutes and 6 seconds. To be honest with you, I have listened to this album at least 50 times this year. I have no idea what this song sounds like. No idea. Don?
Well, of course, I wanted, at first when I saw it, I wanted to think like, oh, it's an ode to Hendrix. It's nothing to fucking do with Hendrix. If I remember correctly, it has something to do with getting weed. And like, it's just kind of
not
like
an ode to Hendrix?
I don't know. I mean, maybe his name is, but like, I just looked up the lyrics and there's no mention of him whatsoever. So it's kind of interesting. It almost kind of reminded me of that Pantera song. What was that? Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills or something.
Oh, I love that song. It's
but
really awful.
Where was this kind of like really terrible sludgy thing going on the beast, and it's got like they're just kind of talking over it. I liked it actually. It's kind of avant-garde. I don't know. I liked it.
Nick, can you say that one more time? What you just said?
What did I say?
I like that song. It's really awful.
I like that song. It's really
it's gonna
awful.
Be on your tombstone, bro. Or your urn. So this is a terribly played...
I would like to think I'm going to have a satellite orbiting the Earth that shoots laser beams once a day.
I'm going to have you pressed into a copy of a Foreigner record.
That would
Which
be
one?
apropos.
I mean, like a good Foreigner record?
Probably
or
Head Games.
No good Foreigner record. Come on now. We just did the whole thing. There's no good Foreigner record.
We didn't do the whole thing. There's like 6 more.
No, fuck no.
Foreigner 2.
There are no good
So if you
Foreigner
listen
records.
carefully and you're not stoned like Don, you will hear a very badly played attempt to homage at Purple Haze, and maybe the song is about weed and drugs and drinking.
Oh,
but it's like literally bah, 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 and it's just out of tune and badly played or slow.
But back then they didn't have tuners.
Yeah, probably not.
Yes, they did.
Not that like these jackasses could afford.
Everybody knows how to tune to an album. Like where you pick a song off the first album, and you play the E, and then you tune the rest of your shit. Everybody, even the bands that
I can't do that.
I don't.
My friend's band always tunes to the opening notes of Black Sabbath.
Well, that would be not E.
That's E flat.
That was no, and that's how they tuned. They were like low, but they knew what they were doing.
All right,
I didn't.
Shall we move on into Holy Snappers? I didn't know Mike D could sing this high. Mike D probably didn't know either. The producer, if he existed... Oh, Scott Jarvis. Someone is listed. probably should have said something. I don't know. Maybe he liked this. Maybe he heard this song and went, "Oh my God, this is amazing." There, breaking the seventh wall. I'm high. I don't know. This song is. It's a song that happened, I guess.
I feel like I've seen this band like 1,000 times, and it wasn't the Beastie Boys.
The shitty ass punk band. I saw them about 10 years ago, and the bass player was standing behind her amp.
Really?
Yes, and she could only play one note out of 4. She was only fast enough to play one note out of 4. She was too slow to play every note.
That's I don't know.
And she wasn't playing like whole notes. She was just
but
that's
like kind of rumbling.
Yeah, that not even rumbling. Because again, she was behind her amp, not in front of. She was behind the damn thing.
So I feel like Keefy is probably more of like the resident hardcore punk guy here, and like punk was something I always enjoyed, but I'm not an aficionado of it or whatever. But when I heard songs like this first thought is this is not a band, or even in that era, I don't think bands went and made shit to try to get famous. Like it was expression. I mean, would you agree with that, Keefy, that it's that at least that early on, it was more about expression than it was.
Yeah, this punk rock, I was not a hardcore kid, but I was a friend to a lot of hardcore kids. I was a metalhead that liked punk. When I first started to get into punk, punks and metalheads hated each other. I went to punk shows scared out of my ass, terrified. They were like, "Why the fuck are you wearing a Metallica shirt? Why do you have your long hair out? Tie your shit up in a thing, put your hoodie up, like Kenny, no face. Do not unzip your hoodie. I don't That's enough. Just a little. Nick, just a little, and then shush.
Just the tip.
You're terrible at just the tip. You're like just the shaft. That's you. All the way to the balls every time. Nick Cameron. Nick all the way to the balls Cameron. Balls deep Cameron. So
Nick wrist deep Cameron.
Yeah, basically. So 100% spot on, Don. A lot of this is going for a feeling. A lot of this is going for heart and soul, not quality, talent, all the other pretentious shit that we like. And musicians.
I think you used the best word though. You said it was reactionary. That's something that
But can I borrow a feeling?
Maybe. Well, let me also say so we were joking about Rat Cage Records. Rat Cage Records goes on to release the very classic and iconic, in the correct sense of the word, first Agnostic Front records, including Victim in Pain.
I've seen them. I saw them in a shit-ass club.
They're great. And
that's all they've ever played.
Vinny is like 70-something. He's still out there playing.
No, I mean, this is like a D level metal club in suburban St. Louis. They couldn't even get into the city.
Right. And by the way, the founder of Rat Cage Records, at a later time, transitioned, and Beastie Boys paid for her gender-affirming care.
Oh, that's incredible. I did not know that.
Okay, when you said transition, I almost made a joke. I'm glad I did not.
Don't fucking make jokes. You're terrible at them. You're really bad at jokes.
I'm good at jokes.
You're good at non sequiturs. You're bad at jokes. Don is bad at jokes. I'm good at jokes.
I'm terrible at jokes.
Laughing at jokes.
We're gonna have to have an ECW 3-way dance at this point.
Maybe.
But we're gonna do a Japanese style with electrified barbed wire.
Don,
good luck, fuckers.
Everything is Japanese. I swear to God, Nick, you're turning Japanese.
Was that your comment on Holy
Got
Snappers?
It on vinyl.
Don, is that his?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So yeah. I think I always thought of Holy Snappers. I didn't know the words to any of these songs except Egg Raid on Mojo and Riot Fight. But I always think
if you don't know the words to Riot Fight, you didn't listen. Here are the words. Oh, Riot Fight.
Times. Yeah, Riot Fight. But Holy Snappers, I think of Carlin's thing about, you remember what a snapping pussy was? So I think Holy Snappers as a box that could give you a good hump, basically, back in the day.
I think of it as Red Snapper's Sushi from Japan.
That's incorrect.
That sounds.
The song is a minute 22 of my life I can't get back. Next song.
Riot Fight, the best song on the record.
That's true.
Also the shortest. I don't know if correlation equals causation, or if there's a link there, but could be. Don?
I love the song, and I agree. I do. I think it's probably my favorite song on the album. But I just also love that these guys had songs that were so short that they made the Ramones sound like the Grateful Dead or Yes, as far as epic length.
They make Napalm Death's first album look like a prog record.
Was that with Lee Dorian?
Bill Steer of Carcass.
How many albums?
Yes, Lee is the singer on that record.
Did he only do one album with them?
He only did one album with them, and
that's what I thought. Okay, because I know it was kind of a sore thumb for him for a while when people would call him the lead. Oh, you were in Napalm Death. He's like, did one album.
I bet Bill Steer felt the same way. I was there for a minute till I could get Michael into the band, and then I got him out to join my band, and now I kicked him in the dick and threw him away. Bill Steer.
That ended up being Cathedral, right? Yeah. Going into that. Okay. Yeah. We should do a Cathedral series.
We ready to move on to Michelle's Farm?
I don't know.
This is the precursor to Country Mike's country record. Anybody ever heard that one?
No.
The Mike D did a solo album called Country Mike. One song from it, the Country Mike theme song, ended up on Sounds of Science. It was recorded and given away in the Christmas card they did that year.
I miss bands doing shit like that.
But they have never released the album. You can buy it on Discogs. They did a pressing of it. I mean, it's out there. It's not cheap, and I'm not going to spend $400 on a Mike D country record. And Michelle's Farm is about that good. Moving on.
At this point, I'm just like, why?
Nick, did we skip over Ode 2? I think you did.
Oh yeah. There's a song called Ode 2 that I have no recollection of.
Yeah, it's not good. So
the thing about this album is it's so... I mean, I think they recorded it in about... It's 10 minutes, 42 seconds, and I think it took them about 13 minutes and 45 seconds to record it because studio time is expensive. So
they're like Paradise Lost. They recorded a 13-minute album in 7 minutes.
I don't think they tuned their guitars between songs. I think they just went in, pounded
the drums are not tuned at all. They're very damp sounding. I
think they pounded a 4-pack of like Mickey's malt liquor and finished the record before each one finished a beer.
I can see that.
It all sounds the same.
I just don't think that they were meaning to actually make anything that was remotely cohesive or even.
I think they were so bombed out of their gourds in the studio.
But I love that. They're probably sniffing glue and shit.
Yeah, they're probably huffing glue and putting back Mickey's malt liquor.
Fuck yeah. I mean,
or Schlitz malt liquor if you want to get if they're feeling fancy because they were in a studio.
Schlitz.
It was the 80s in New York. It was St. Ides. We didn't have Schlitz.
Oh, okay. Schlitz is Midwestern.
Yeah, so they had St. Ides malt liquor, or the other one, Country Club, which is still around. It's like horrible. I'm gonna say this. I don't know which one it is. If it's Ode 2 or Michelle's Farm, and I think Michelle's Farm is like a nod to Maggie's Farm, right?
I think so.
Because these guys are college educated and rebels and stuff. One of them, I think it's Ode 2, kind of reminded me of Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast. It's just like some bullshit sounds.
Yeah, but except Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast goes on for like 28 minutes.
Yeah, this is a minute 38 I don't need.
Which is the right number if you're going to do just some random bullshit you recorded.
Right.
18 minutes, Pink Floyd. Not the right number.
Not the right number. Or
remember who you're talking to here, man. I love 18 minutes of anything.
Several species.
That was the right number. It was 3.5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then Roger starts screaming in a Scottish accent because he's a dick.
Noted.
Why Roger always just ends up in a Scottish accent?
He doesn't like
all
Scots.
the time.
I think that's what it is. Got some problems.
I always wish I could do that. I'm talking about that.
No,
that he does. I always wanted to do that.
All right, let's finish off with my favorite song on the record.
Don pointing to his neck for singing, like if he had a pee, he would point to his penis. Amazing. Go ahead.
Are you going to start throat singing? Are you going to join the Who? Anyway, Egg Raid on Mojo. What was great about this song, and I think we mentioned it, but I don't know if we expanded on it very well, This song is repurposed as uh as Eggman on on the seminal Paul's Boutique. They use they use a lot of the same lyrics. We all dressed in black. We snuck up around the back. We began to attack. I mean, it's this is how you know this was written by 14-year-olds. They're writing a rallying song about egging a dude's house. Oh, you want to talk
Poetic
about
justice.
you want to talk about a rebel yell, Billy Idol? Here you go. Andor's looking at you, going, "I'm going to get you on my ship. You and your carton of eggs." I mean, Don.
I think that like even if I didn't know much about the Beastie Boys, I would listen to this song and go, I wanted I wanted 12 minutes of this as opposed to the 12 minutes that I got of the other stuff. Like this sounds like the one song, like because I feel like every band, no matter how shitty you were, every band had one song.
Yes, every band gets a perfect song.
You know, I mean, even my shitty fucking metal band, like we had this one song.
My shitty ass like
people loved it.
My shitty ass heavy munge band. It was called One Night Stand. My solo was amazing.
But yeah, so anyway, A Grade on Mojo, I think is fucking great, and I'm so glad I got to hear them perform that live. And
also, can we make munge a word? Can we make that a thing?
Munge,
metal grunge.
That's on you, man.
Metal grunge. So it's munge.
Or it could be Gretel.
No, I like munge better.
Grungel, the Grundle.
Keefy's turn. Go ahead, buddy.
I yield my time.
Good Lord. Second best song on the record. I continue to enjoy this to this day. This is the one actual competently played good punk song on here. It does carry the whole release. It is the kernel of something cool. Maybe if they had stayed hardcore and did not jump on a fad and become hip hop, I'm sure they were listening to a lot of hip hop like everybody was when I was growing up in New York. But it's interesting nonetheless to think about if they had stayed punk. Would they have evolved? Would they have gotten better? Would they got worse? Is this the best I could do? I don't know. Only Nick knows.
No. Nothing. So that ends this record. Okay, let's move on to something better.
Quickest a record's ever gone on this show.
What?
That's the quickest a record has ever gone on this show.
Well, we have 3 more releases to get through. Shut up, Don.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Moving on. So now Kate Schellenbach is still in the band. The band is transitioning. This one was recorded. It's also on Rat Cage. This one is 1339, and it's got 4 songs, including a censored version of the title track, Cookie Puss. This was recorded in a music studio that was made for recording jingles. That's what it was used for. That they just ended up in a place recording jingles, and they weren't feeling the vibe, bro, whatever that means. And for more information, check out the liner notes for some old bullshit. But here we have a time when the Beastie Boys are transitioning. This song, this album is this release, this EP is far different than its predecessor. The lineup is now solidified, plus Kate. Adam Horovitz comes in. He had been in the band for a couple of years at this point. He joined the band not long after Pollywog Stew was recorded. There are actually some, local New York City broadcasts with the Beastie Boys playing Egg Raid on Mojo and Beastie Boys. And holy crap, you want to talk about looking at, like, if you look at Mike D now, and who's not aging well. I mean, he's not aging as well as
he's looking, he's looking pretty haggard, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking every bit his age. Adrock, however, still looks like he's about 38. But if you look at Mike D singing in like 1982 on, WBBC public access New York City, he looks like he's about 18 to 24 months old. You're like looking at him going, how's he even standing up? And Adrock is there. So But here we are. So now they go into this studio and they're not feeling the vibe. So they do it differently. And what comes out is Cookie Puss, Bonus Batter, and Beastie Revolution. And these things are wildly weird. Does anybody else have any background they want to toss in?
Well, I think it's important to talk about like the dalliance with rap. New York City is just overtaken with rap, and raps go. We're not going to do the history of rap today. We did kind of a history of rap with previous guest and friend to the show and topic Mega Ran.
Love you, Mega Ran.
Love Mega Ran. Thank you, Mega Ran, for coming on our show and humoring our shit and enjoying your time with us.
I know, right?
Yeah, next time he has another one, we'll do it with him again. And or sometime else, maybe we'll bring him in as a guest for another hip hop series in the future, like the West Coast rap. Be very interesting to see.
You know what? I bet he might be interested in doing Ill Communication or Paul's Boutique.
Perhaps you can ring out. You can reach out like you did before. See
I don't. No, you did it.
Did I? I might have. That's right.
I don't have. I'm not on Twitter anymore.
That's fine. I have his address.
And he stopped following me on all the other things like a smart man.
Well, I think he stopped following everybody because like everybody got off of Twitter.
No, I could just text Ad Rock and ask him. I mean,
yeah, if you could, if you could just text Ad Rock to ask him to talk to Mega Ran, see if Mega Ran wants to come on the show.
Anyway, I think it's a very interesting, like I said, the shift. Like hip hop is taking over all culture in New York City, where I'm from. And people would battle rap, snap on each other, or play basketball to win fights. Or then it became breakdancing. Then it kind of went back to rap. There's a lot of early hip hop stuff that people just don't understand about the culture. And that's the reason why clothing, fashion, why it infiltrated every corner of life.
Will probably surprise you to find out that we had the exact same thing here in St. Louis in
everywhere.
1980. No, we had it in the Midwest at the right time.
Yeah, at the right time.
I can't think of anything else we've ever done that with.
So the rest
but
of
we
this,
had it.
The rest of this record is more of the same of what they were doing. Kind of poorly played punk rock, maybe a little more capable. And then Cookie Puss happens. And Cookie Puss was a prank phone call, but also a rap track, right?
Which is like it's the greatest prank phone call ever.
Do you know what a Cookie Puss is?
I know what a Cookie Puss is now.
Do you know what Carvel is?
Yes. I used to work with a lady who did not believe I was not Canadian. I swear to God.
You say stuff wrong and I don't know, she'd just have to be around you a little bit to know that you're not humble or nice enough to be Canadian. But go ahead.
Yeah, when a Cookie Puss, we had Carvels in New Orleans. I'd never seen one for some reason. Well,
they don't really have stores anymore.
But they used to have, like, the Cookie Puss was like a cake.
That is correct. It's an ice cream cake.
They were actually really worried that Carvel Creamery was going to be upset about it.
Yes.
And they ran into the grandson of the original owners, and the grandson thought that Cookie Puss was the greatest thing in the world. Shockingly, this song was a minor hit in the New York dance clubs.
That's correct.
The way to piggyback on what you were saying, the way Adrock described it was in New York in 1983 or 1982, 83. There wasn't one music. They didn't have the air conditioning that we have now, so boom boxes were walking down the street. This is before the Walkman. Radios are in windows, and he described that their musical journey started here when they're walking through Manhattan and just hearing all of these very different songs all at once. And that was what formed them. And I think that's kind of what formed this EP.
So here's the thing about, like, just a really quick, what is a Cookie Puss and why is it funny? Yeah, Don sent a picture. So
the crumbs make you scratch what I hear, from what I hear.
Carvel, does that say 666 on the nose? That's fucking amazing.
It says egg.
No, it says egg.
Oh, okay. I thought there's a
wow.
Six is even better.
Do you even read, bro?
Those hands kind of look like dicks. I don't have my glasses on, by the way. Thanks.
I don't have my glasses on. Mine are right here.
You have your mouth on there, though.
Keefy, I have your glasses on.
Perhaps. So listen, Carvel is an ice cream cake and ice cream company. They were actually known for the flying saucer, which was like 2 pieces of ice cream sandwich style cookie with a soft whipped cream in the middle. It also didn't keep well in the fridge, like it soft serve, but it would be frozen. And then it would defrost and have like a weird, funny aftertaste, but you ate them anyway. And the novelty of the flying saucers and the soft serve ice cream, which was, by the way, an accident. There's a really fascinating documentary about it. He had an ice cream truck and his electricity shit the bed, and he had to sell all the ice cream before it spoiled, and he sold the soft serve, and people went nuts over it. That's how he formed Carvel. Tom Carvel was the founder, the grandpa, and he used to do his own commercials, very poorly shot, amateurish local TV commercials. And Tom Carvel might have been, along with Cookie Monster, the very first death metal singer, because he sounded like, "This is Tom Carvel. I'm extremely depressed. Well, you know what'll make me feel better? An ice cream cake from Carvel with little crunchies and ice creams, and everybody's gonna love it." And so Cookie Puss is this.
God, I wish we had people like that in St. Louis back then.
Cookie Puss is this signature thing. And then basically for every holiday, there was you hear them name check Cookie O Puss for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, is that why he said that?
The Cookie Puss chick is the chick for Easter. And they paint like basically the same cake paint. You turn it on its side for Father's Day. Fudgy the whale. I don't know what whales have to do with Father's Day, but a Cookie Puss on its side kind of looks like a whale.
Because I'm chubby and I'm going to lay on the couch?
Maybe. No, your dad's
I'm probably going to wear a shirt, though.
You think you can trace back all of my teenage problems to
I'm sorry. Can I just go back? Cookie Opus?
My time,
I'm sorry. You blew my brain. I did not know Mike D was like listing actual things that had happened.
Well, you wouldn't know because they didn't have Carvel where you were from as a real store you could go into. So he's calling a shop a franchise.
Was like wasn't it like a 32 flavors kind of place, right? Only was specifically for cakes.
But the main thing was soft serve ice cream in a split cone, Cookie Puss, or
what's a split cone?
A double cone with a chocolate.
You've never seen
a swirl?
Oh,
a double cone.
It's like a gatefold cone.
It's a gatefold cone. That's brilliant.
Is it 2 cones or is it two flavors?
I was a total fat kid. I always had the split
2 different
cones,
2 flavors in the cone.
Yeah.
Chocolate vanilla usually. No variety.
I'm lost. Continue.
And then flying saucers if you look them up. Now you can still get Carvel ice cream cakes in a supermarket. That's how they exist today. I think they were bought by Pepsi. Pepsi might own it. So again, this is why it's hilarious to New Yorkers. That's why we adopted this as a hit. I was not aware of the Cookie Puss song. I was aware of the next Beastie Boys 2 singles that really catapulted them to the record deal. But Cookie Puss has lived in my heart forever and ever. And that voice of Tom Carvel, which sounds like he's about giving a death rattle out every word he says.
God, I'm gonna have to
like COPD.
I'm gonna be literally Googling Carvel commercials after this.
Will.
All right, so let's blow through the tracks. Track 1, Cookie Puss. Mike D calling a Carvel place, asking to speak to Cookie Puss and Cookie Opus and whoever. I want to speak to them. And the lady taking it seriously. Nope, nobody here by that name. And just the thickest, like, Bronx accent I've ever heard. She should have been on The Sopranos.
Probably.
Okay. She should have been a dialect coach on The Sopranos. Here's my manager. He'll help you. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. And then, like, of course, they're doing these ridiculous little, these pussy crumbs are making me scratch.
So the crumbs, there's, if you're
my God, that's a thing too?
Yeah, so the cake has around it crunchies, like crushed up Oreo crunchies.
Yeah, it was like crushed up chocolate cookie.
They have like chemicals in them that give you hives or whatever, like marzipan at McDonald's or something. On the marzipan McDonald's, cookies or cakes.
Okay, there's the new Glacially musical T-shirt. Glacially musical podcast, marzipan at McDonald's.
Fair enough. McDowell's. And
the marzipan machine's broken.
Let's do Whack Donald's. It's Japanese anime.
Whack Arnold's.
Whack Donald's. In Japan, in anime, they use Whack Donald's.
Sure.
Because Whack Donald's in katakana looks really close to McDonald's in katakana.
Is that like the original Fozzie backstory about him being Donald Macanudo?
I don't know, but if you like look at there was like a McDonald's ad campaign where they were actually using the Whack Donald's logo from like many anime in order to like get the kids going there. I don't know if it worked. Don, what do you think about this track? We didn't even talk to Don. Don, are you still here?
We're still talking about Cookie Puss, right?
Yeah.
Fucking love it. Loved it because, I mean, I don't. It's always weird because I feel like New Orleans always had some weird kind of astral parallel to like New York for some reason because the people kind of talk similar.
Hey, we're sisters, not them.
Well, yeah, but it was just kind of like everybody kind of talked like them. Everyone had kind of like this abrasive like humor and stuff. And like this just reminded me of like prank phone calls.
Is that because of different strokes?
That has nothing to do with it, Nick.
Well, like we all wanted to be
the
New
TV
York.
show.
Yeah, the TV show.
Oh. Great song. I loved it. I listened to it. And it was also kind of a precursor to the Jerky Boys. And I wonder if the Jerky Boys may have actually even got something from this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Keefy, but the Jerky Boys are New Yorkers?
Mm-hmm.
East Coasters for sure.
Yeah. All righty, let's flip this record to Beastie Revolution. If you've ever thought to yourself, it would be great if the Beastie Boys were doing punk rock while doing reggae, but still doing hip hop? I want to hear that. I don't really need to hear this song. Don?
Yeah, I'm kind of...
No, you're not coming. I know you're not.
I'm so high right now. It's ridiculous. This song is so absurd. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's terrible, but yeah.
It's amazing.
Anyway.
It's so awful.
It's amazing. It's awful.
Amazing because it's awful.
Amazing because it's awful. Yeah.
Beastie Boys wish they were Bad Brains. That's what this song is, right?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna quote the teacher from The Boy Who Could Fly. If you wish hard enough and love long enough, your dreams will come true. We just learned that's not true. Unless the Beastie Boys should have like loved longer and held on a little bit longer than what they did. I mean, it could have been underdone. I don't know. I know I don't need this song. I mean, once Cookie Puss hits and then Bonus Batter hits, and then you can just take the record off. So let's briefly discuss Some Old Bullshit, because this is something about the Beastie Boys that I genuinely love. The reason why the Some Old Bullshit compilation exists is because the Beastie Boys themselves learned in 92 or 93 that their old releases, these two, had become valuable and become crazily valuable. And they didn't want their fans to have to pay out the nose to get them. So they released Some Old Bullshit. And in 1993 or 4, whatever it was, they pressed it on vinyl even. Everything they did back in the 90s was on vinyl. And when the 1990s version of these songs became too valuable, what did they do? They pressed it again. I have a 2020 pressing of this album, of Some Old Bullshit. That's just absolutely amazing. And you know what? Major props to this band for continuing to re-release their music in order to make sure the fans that want it don't get hosed. Any thoughts?
Well, first off, did any of you guys ever try to pick any of this stuff up, like when it was being bootlegged or reissued?
I didn't know
back in the day.
Didn't know about it.
I just remember seeing that, like, goes in the back of like one of the metal mags. I don't know if you guys remember that. They're like, I think it was in the back of Hit Parader. They usually had like a big list of places that sold bootleg stuff, and you could send off for a free catalog. And I remember there being a copy of Cookie Puss. And at the time, it was like $50. But this was like $50 back in like 1986.
So that's like $248 now. Exactly.
And so I thought it was super cool that they did this, because I'm always again, coming from the Deadhead school of bootlegging. When people start bootlegging shit and then trying to sell it, I always love it when a band comes in and fucking undercuts it and fucking kills the fucking scene for that.
this wasn't even about it being bootleg to be sold, but like the original copies were too valuable and too hard to find. But anyway, so let's move on. So now the Beastie Boys, between Cookie Puss and Rock Hard, meet an NYU student that we have discussed a bit on this show. Who do you think it is, Don?
That would be
wrong. It's Rick Rubin.
Good God, man! Knew this.
Nobody likes guessing games, Don.
Fuck.
So they meet Rick Rubin. At this point in time, Rick Rubin has 1 foot in rap and 1 foot in metal. Dee Snider actually once said that rap and metal should be able to coexist very easily because they're both so rooted in anger. However, didn't always happen. So Rick Rubin introduces them to Russell Simmons, and they are now signed to Def Jam Records. So I have a copy of the very first thing they released on Def Jam Records. It is a 12-inch 4-track single called Rock Hard. You may notice there is no cool cover.
Is that what it came like? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's no cover. Why do I still have this in there? I'll throw that away.
What? So what is that worth?
A lot. So if you look closely, you can't quite see it, but this is the Beastie Boys.
That bitch.
It has been cleaned. It's been through the ringer.
Oh, good.
It doesn't. This one does not sound great. But I was once told by the owner of the record space that Def Jam Beastie Boys records all sounded like shit, and that you should not spend the money to get them. You should buy the represses because they sound better. Again, this thing is scratched up all to hell. I actually haven't looked up this one in a little bit, but I think I paid around about $50 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't
How long
cheap.
ago?
Year and a half.
That's still not terrible, to be honest.
Because I needed to own it. I needed to have it, and I figured if I waited longer, it would get to the point where it just got too expensive. So I did not.
You had a case of FOMO there.
I didn't. Well, it wasn't that. I wanted to have it because I wanted to have everything by the Beastie Boys. Although I don't have the mix-up. So what does that tell you? Anybody have any background on this they want to drop out?
Not really.
Not really.
Cool that they kind of advanced the level up. Stupid that they thought they could get away, that no one was paying attention. Sampling was already a whole thing in music, and the industry hadn't yet caught up. But maybe they thought they were going to get over or get away with it. They were not. And,
if you want this in
lucky it didn't kill their career.
If you want this very good, it starts at $40. Mine is in good. In good.
That's a lot. That's a lot for that, to be honest. I mean, if you're a completist and like you got to have it, I can see that, but
which I am.
Yeah.
So the sample track of this one is Back in Black, and then the reason why it's
only a record that sold like 10 million copies the 2 years before. Like no one's it's that main.
No one's gonna recognize that.
Has anybody ever heard that song? I mean, if I went. Would you even know? Nobody would know.
And you could play that riff for my wife and she'd be like, oh, that's the AC/DC song.
Yeah, exactly.
The AC/DC song.
I'm just going to go ahead and quickly run through this. This song kind of sucks. We have now seen the Beastie Boys in their nearly final form. But much like Pollywog Stew, they're not good at what they do. Party's Getting Rough is the Beastie Boys trying to relate to the popular hip-hop crowd. Or the mainstream crowd, which they've never been. So it sucks. Beastie Groove is... it's a song on the record. Done.
So I did kind of like what Keefy said. I feel like that they kind of stepped up their game a bit, but there's still this kind of like shift that's happening here where like if I didn't know what was coming from the Beastie Boys, I don't know that I would have knew that this is what was going to somewhat start to kind of be a catalyst of them to go to where they ended up. But I actually did not like it, to be honest. I didn't love it. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I can't quite put my finger on why. Like, it's weird. Like, I feel like the first like, Cookie Puss and Paulo X do, I felt like they were both kind of like naturally bad, like, because that was just their thing. Whereas like this, I don't know. It's almost like I felt like they were trying to just be ridiculous.
I felt like they were trying to be what everybody else was. They were trying to do, and now granted, this is ahead of the curve, but they were trying to do "Walk This Way" by Run DMC. When they did Rock Hard, they're like, "Oh, we know how to do records. Like, we need a producer to teach us how to make a record." I mean, it's just like, yeah, the first two were naturally bad, but they were naturally bad and quirky. This is just naturally subpar. Keefy?
Noted. I think for punk rock, there's a naturally charming rawness that's expected, and hip hop was still very raw in its early age, and still very of the streets, and still very of block parties and house parties and things like that. And going from the underground to the mainstream, as we previously discussed, one of my favorite little factoids ever is the very first commercial pop song with a rap in it is Blondie's Rapture, where Blondie is rapping. Rapture. Step into a world.
We got the Fab Five Freddy call out.
That's correct.
I understand that reference.
That's correct. So, doesn't mean they're good. It's lucky this record didn't submarine everything for them, and they didn't get any further than this. Another band comes out of the gate with a whack EP and a terrible music industry faux pas, like sampling a band with no permission even back then. We didn't know. We tried to get away with it.
And not just any band, but a band that is
a humongous international classic rock.
We're talking at the height,
at the absolute peak.
This would be like somebody sampling "Sad But True" in 1992.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, and it was like still very new. Like it wasn't like it was like classic rock.
It was like 4 years old at this point.
Yeah,
and AC/DC had released it. I closed it.
Yeah, barely.
It was 4 years, and AC/DC had released a string of multi-platinum hits after that. They're everywhere. AC/DC at this point in time was poised to be new Led Zeppelin in terms of sales.
I was about to say, I have no idea where you got that.
Not at all. No, not even close. But anyway, nice try.
You kind of like jumped the shark on that one.
That's okay.
You can call me Fonzie.
Or we won't call you Fonzie.
Motherfucker.
Are you Chachi?
Oh.
You know what?
I did that before he got real
Don.
We're not editing that out, though, at this point.
You want to stay on this show?
Oh, is it that touchy of a subject?
Motherfucking Chachi Scott Baio? Hell yes, it is.
I know why, dude.
You know why. May I continue uninterrupted?
Go. What are you waiting for, Nick? Do it.
Shut up, Don. So next we move on into their first proper release. This is probably, in my opinion, the first real Beastie Boys song. Rock Hard, Party's Getting Rough. That's them trying to fit into a glove that is never going to fit them. Their dicks don't fit into those condoms. They're way too big. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the cover of She's On It. I'm just going to...
I'm just going to fail at doing this.
I forgot where I put it. I'm just going to pick it up right now. You can see, the sizes of the packages. And you can see right up in the business.
Oh, those were like totally like Bret Michaels staged, right?
Oh, I know. This has She's On It, Hold Now, Hit It, Slow and Low. This is a re-release of the single. This is not the original. The original only has 2 songs. But I figured I'm going to get all the Beastie Boys, so I'm going to get this. Still don't have the mix-up. Just going to point that out. So this is a song from Crush Groove. And aren't you the guy that still owes me $10 who's going to be the bigger hit? E.T. or Crush Groove? Fuck you. History's going to bear me out on
Time's
that.
gonna tell on that one, man. Whose
My
house?
ass runs house.
My
Who
end.
in my end?
So Crush Groove is a seminal hip hop movie and
Fucking great movie.
popularized hip hop. The soundtrack is impeccable. LL Cool J, Run DMC, Kool Moe Dee, Big Daddy Kane.
Kool Moe Dee is like one of my absolute favorite rap names.
Yeah. So it's a pretty important movie in promoting the culture that was again taking over everything.
Real
And
quick,
Beastie Boys are on it, and that is She's on It is, I think, the first great Beastie Boys song.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Here's the artists on that soundtrack: Shaka Khan, LL Cool J, Curtis Blow, Fat Boys, Debbie Harry, Sheila E., Beastie Boys, Gap Band, Force MDs, and the Crush Groove All Stars, which is Crush Groovin'.
Fucking love it. Love it.
You know what? I feel like we need to do a chaser on
Sorry,
this.
not Kool Moe Dee.
No, Kool Moe Dee's not here. I'll be damned. But still, Kool Moe Dee is still my favorite rap name. So She's on It is produced by Rick Mother Effin Rubin. And
Is that a Def Jam's record first release? Is that the first Def Jam's record album?
no, Rock Hard was Def Jam.
Okay.
Def Jam was their first release. So after Rock Hard, they do She's on It, and then they do License to Ill. She's on It is it's a song that is straight off of License to Ill. When I had heard it, it was so familiar that I didn't realize it wasn't on License to Ill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I always thought that this was this is actually the true catalyst, I think, the launching us into License to Ill. And especially now, still upon hearing it, I still think that like it could have been on the album and probably could have been as big of a hit as anything else.
I wish it was on the album instead of Girls.
Yeah, I definitely
Thank
think She's
you.
on It is better than Girls. And She's on It is really like the first song that I heard was played on. So New York City had, in addition, I didn't have cable for a long time and I didn't have MTV, and Beasties didn't get played on MTV till Fight For You Right. But Beasties were played on radio. I did listen, my brother and I listened to a lot of college radio, so I heard them there. People were walking around with boom boxes. You could hear it. Again, Crush Groove just overtook everything. I saw it in the theaters. It was PG at the time. Really shouldn't have been, but it was PG. Thinking back on it now, it was like 10 or 11 or 12 when this came out, and still in elementary school just about. And then, a funny thing happens on the way to the forum. I think Nick will talk about it in a minute. I have a couple of other anecdotes about the Beasties, but a real interesting thing about them is that they were randomly Cookie Puss being played in clubs sort of made them feel like, oh, we didn't even take that seriously with a little scratching and rapping and a prank call and this and this and that, a little bit of production. Now we have a real, the brain trust of East Coast hip hop in its earliest days helping to make our record, put us on a pivotal soundtrack, and now we're going to get out there. So I think that's super interesting.
And I think that's why License to Ill ended up the way it did. Because we're still a good year and a half from License to Ill. Actually, no, about 8 months. But
You were right the first time.
Was I? Well, Hold It Now Hit It is the next single.
Yeah.
And that was released in April.
So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this. They go on tour supporting Madonna.
Yes.
Was that this early?
That is that early.
Yeah, it was
I thought it was
before
later.
License to Ill came out.
Which is actually how. So here's the thing. One of my childhood friends, I'm no longer friends with, but my former childhood best friend was spending summers in Florida with grandparents, as you do when you're from New York.
Ooh, fancy.
Part Jewish. And so Jewish. And they had sent him to go see Madonna as like his first concert. And who was opening for Madonna? Beastie Boys and Run DMC.
And the Beasties got 15 minutes.
And I was like, they got 15 minutes to begin with, and then eventually they were getting 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
And Run DMC who are topping the charts, and Madonna, who's becoming in her third or fourth year in her career an international sensation in just a few short years. So like 25-year-old Madonna, 26-year-old Beastie Boys in 1985, because they were already out of college quite a while.
Yeah.
They didn't really make it until they were almost 30. Kind of reminds me of Tool in a lot of ways.
But they talked about how they were 22 during License to Ill press.
But they weren't.
No, they were not.
They definitely weren't. So that was a gag. There was a gimmick. And my friend came back, and I was like, "Oh my God, Madonna!" And Run DMC, he was like, "No, dude, Beastie Boys. This is going to be the hugest thing soon."
Run DMC was on that bill too.
They were. What a tour!
Let me. This is going to be the last.
Madonna, Beastie Boys, and Run DMC.
Well, not in that order. Beastie.
Oh, but
they're opening.
This is going to be crazy.
That's how big Madonna was. Arenas in 3 years of her career. Respect.
This is going to be the last thing I say for this week, and I'll let somebody else take us home. The Beastie Boys are the first band that I got in on at the ground floor. They're the first band that I became a fan of their first album, and I stayed a fan for the rest of their career. And so I have a whole lot of nostalgic feels. The nostalgic feels do not make a lot of these songs better, however. But you know what? We had to see about a band. I mean, how do you find your footing as a band that does everything?
Mm-hmm.
Your first steps are going to be very awkward. And if you look at these 4 releases, they're very awkward releases, but there's quality and quantity. There's enough there to at least pay attention to. And I'm done.
I just think it's a lot of fun to go back. Like, I don't know that I would listen to this stuff by choice, but there is something fun to be said and interesting for guys like us who are just completely wrapped music dorks who love history about bands and whatnot. It's important, I think, that if you are a Beastie Boys fan and you consider yourself a fan more so than just a casual fan, that it really is important to go hear this aspect of them, because even though it's nothing like what they did later, it is a part of what brought them together in the first place as a unit. And then they grew from that. And so there is something really cool about revisiting this stuff. If anything, just to kind of have it be a part of the canon, so to speak, you know? So I love that it's there. I love that we covered it. I don't know that I need to listen to it again, but I enjoyed it. It was great.
Beasties 101. Good to know, good to appreciate. Not good music mostly, except for She's on It and Egg Raid on Mojo. I'm not taking the piss, but Nick, I genuinely have you really listened to this like constantly all year? Like, you love this so much you listen to it monthly? Really?
I listen to the Beastie Boys pretty regularly.
I know you do, but this stuff.
I
know you love Egg Raid. I know how much you love Egg Raid, but like,
I love Egg Raid on Mojo.
Some
I love
old bullshit you put on once a month. Is that true?
Once every 6 to 8 weeks, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
I've also got Aglio e Olio too. I mean,
that you do. It's also a good spice at Trader Joe's, where I'll be going soon.
I make my own Aglio e Olio.
Good for you. Thank you for your
just
summary.
For the record, I made blackened chicken on Alfredo pasta today.
Fattening. I'll worry about you. And with that, you have been listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast and dietary advice from a person who should not be qualified to give out any. I am your co-host, Keefy of GhostCultMag.com. You can find me on all the things at GhostCultMag.com, GhostCultMag, at GhostCultMag, at GhostCultKeefy, all the things. You know Don Delamont. He's the other co-host. He's officially a co-host. He's a real boy, just like
I never said that he was, but he just is.
We did. And you be quiet. I'm talking. I know I'm right because I'm talking and you're listening. Continuing. Don, you can follow him at Talking the Talk with Don on YouTube, as well as his blog, Southeast of Heaven. Please pick up his awesome book, Southeast of Heaven, at the link in the description from our Amazon link that helps the show. Invest in yourself. Invest in your vinyl collection. Invest in our vinyl purchases so we get help too with your Invest in Vinyl mylar sleeves. And with that out of the way, it's the Glacially Musical Podcast that does not play in Peoria, and the Beastie Boys are retired, so they will never play Peoria again.
Also, fuck Florida, go Edmonton.
Fuck Florida, indeed. I have
beautiful.
Nothing else
I have
to
to
say.
be.
I'm a real
He has
boy,
to pee.
Pa.
He's
I'm a real boy.
grown boy.
I'm a real grown boy,
Stop
Papa.
this! I gotta pee.